be similar to the previous ones that we've done in that it will be primarily body weight. We're going to start with a very comprehensive warm-up, going through the main joints in the body. Then we're going to do some dynamic warm-up. Then we're going to do power and strength. We're going to include the stability work with the power and strength work today and the dynamic warm-up so that we don't have to do a separate section of it. So today's will be a little bit faster moving than the previous classes, and we'll try and get a little bit more harder work done. If you just want to grab a little bit of space, and we will get going. Exercise 1, I'm just going to get you to lie face down. We're going to start by warming up our lower back a little bit. So you're going to try and keep your hips down, extend up through your lower back as much as you can, and then from here, you're going to come up and push your butt back. So that's going to be 1 up to the top, down, extend up, and then sit your hips back as far as you can. The lower you can sit your hips down and the further you can keep your hands out in front, the more you'll feel the lower back working on this. So we're going to go for 12 of these. Really try to make sure that you get your hips down to your heels as you sit down. If you need to move your hands a little bit for the different section of this, it's fine. Just a quick tip on this one, the further you bring your hands back towards your hips, the harder it will be to arch your lower back up. The less flexible you are and the further you put your hands in front, that'll make it a little bit easier. So you can just change your hand position based on your flexibility. And then if you want to, you can push your hands further in front when you're sitting your hips back. You get 2 more of these. This is just warming up all through the back side of the body primarily. Okay, we're going to move from the lower back and do more of an upper back one. So you're going to lie on your side. This is the easiest way to show you. So you're going to lie on your side. You're going to put one leg out. So you're going to be in this start position and then rotate. I'll show you from here actually. So I'm going to be lying on my side. I'm going to get my top leg and I'm going to put the knee down so that it's at 90 degrees. I'm going to have my hands in a prayer position on the ground and then open up like this. I'll show you from this view. So you're going to be lying on your side. So leg to 90 degrees. And then from here, try to open up as much as possible. You get 10 on this side. Try to make sure you keep the knee down. That will stop the hips from turning and just isolate the upper back. This is a really good one for working on separation between lower body and the upper body. You might find that you're limited going one side compared to the other, and that'll be the side you'd want to work on a little bit more. We're going to go to a hip one. Just watch how I do this one closely. You're going to be in an all-4 start position with your hands and knees pretty close together. And the key on this is that your lower back stays flat. All I'm going to be doing is raising one leg. I'm going to keep the knee bent, so I'm not going to open my knee at all. And then from here, I'm going to try and bring my heel to the ceiling like this. you'll notice that my heel doesn't get very high and that my thigh hasn't gotten parallel to the ground. That's fine. What most people will do on this is that they'll arch their lower back to make their leg go higher, but what they've really used is a lower back extension. They haven't used their glute to extend. So if you want, you can put one hand on your lower back doing this. You're going to keep your knee flexed, and you're just trying to squeeze the butt cheek to bring the leg up. We're going to try 10 of them on each side. Nice and slow and controlled. My knee is staying flexed, and I'm just squeezing the butt cheek. I haven't arched at my chest and my neck. That might make it feel like you're getting more range of motion, but you'll be getting the range of motion from the wrong place. Nice and slow and controlled. Just feeling like you're using your glute, so your butt cheek, to bring your hip towards the ceiling. Then we go the other side. If you think about what's happening at our hip here, the way that we're extending it, this is the complete opposite to how our hip spends most of its day when we're in a seated position and we have our hip at 90 degrees the other way up in front of us. We're now extending our hip behind us as much as we can, which is a nice way to open up the hip. It's usually in a closed position when we have our thigh up at 90 degrees in front of us when we sit for most of the day. So this is working on hip extension, which is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's also a really good way to fire up the glutes. So really trying to feel your butt cheek working to bring your heel towards the ceiling. And the key on this is that you're not arching with the lower back, or that you're not extending your knee too much. Knee stays tight, raising your heel by squeezing the butt cheek. Okay, now we're going to go into a hip rotation one. Done these a lot. We're going to go your hands to your sides, your legs up in front, heels off the ground. We're going to try and lower one leg to the ground, up to the top, and then the other leg. We're going to do 10 each side. If you've good range of motion on that, take your hands off the ground, and you can go both legs moving in the same direction together, up to the top, and then the other way. So this is working on internal rotation on my right hip, external rotation on my left hip. We want the hips to be able to rotate pretty freely in the golf swing. So either as I'm doing it here, or with your hands behind. If you find that your hips are very tight, when you try and pull them up close, all I would do is extend your legs out a little bit in front, and then try and work on that same rotation, getting the thigh to rotate inwards. And as you get more flexible, you can pull the knees up, get your heels wider, and that'll put more demand on the hip. Okay, the next one that we're going to do then is more so for the upper back. We did the lower back where we were doing the extensions on the ground. This one looks a little bit strange at first, and the first few reps might feel a little bit awkward. But once you get used to it, it's a really good one for opening up the upper back. We usually get stuck in a posture like this a lot with rounded shoulders or a hunched upper back. We're going to do some exercises that try and reverse that. So all I want you to do from a kneeling position is feel like you slouch as much as possible. So you're caving in at your chest, rounding your shoulders. And all I'm going to do from here is imagine that my sternum, so where the logo is on my t-shirt, I'm going to get that to extend up and out as much as possible. So round my upper back, and then I'm going to extend my chest as much as possible. You should feel a little bit of work in between the shoulder blades, and I'm going to get 12 of these. So basically practicing as rounded and slouched a posture as you can, and then the complete opposite of it by extending your chest up. You should feel this a lot in your upper back, in between your shoulder blades. I'm going to go for 12 of them. That's it. Rounding as much as you can, and then extending your chest out as much as you can, pulling your shoulder blades back together. So going from as rounded or as slouched as possible to as extended and puffed out chest as much as possible. Do 2 more. Okay, that'd be a really good one for helping your posture. Then we're going to stand up and get some ankles. So balance on the leg you're standing on, and then you're going to rotate your ankle 10 in one direction, and then 10 in the other direction. Once you've that done, we're going to do the same on the other side. Then we're going to get one for the knees. So we're going to balance on one leg, pick the other leg up in front. So this will require stability on the standing leg. And now we're going to get the knee through as much range of motion as possible on the leg that's flexing and extending. We're going to do 15 of these, just trying to straighten the leg as much as possible and extend it as much as possible. The more flexible you are, the higher up you should raise this leg when you're trying to extend. The less flexible you are, the lower you can have this leg. Really trying to get the knee going through as much range of motion as possible and just warm up that joint for some of the other exercises we're going to be doing. Okay, then the other side, so leg up in front and then extending, and all the time working on the balance on the standing leg. Okay, we're going to try a hip one that we haven't done before, but this will be a really good one for helping with your golf, trying to get the hip to rotate as much as possible. I just grabbed my slider or paper plate if you have one. If you don't have one, it's usually easy to do with socks, just on carpet too. So all you're going to do is stand on the slider. Most of your weight is going to be on the leg that's on the floor. And then all I'm going to do from here is the leg that's on the slider, I'm going to try and get the femur, so see that whole leg. I'm going to try and make it rotate in as much as possible. So I'm going to go from my toe pointed straight ahead to rotating in towards my other leg as much as possible. What this is doing is forcing my hip joint to go through as internal rotation as possible, something that a lot of people are very limited in. So we're going to go 12 on each side, really trying to rotate that thigh inward as much as you can. I'll come a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing with my thigh. So I'm trying to get this thigh to rotate in as much as possible. Okay, so up to 12. And then switch sides. So this is a really good one to do before warming up, hitting balls, or playing golf. So now I have my right foot on the slider, and I'm getting that leg to rotate inwards. You might feel a little bit of cramping or tightness up at the top of the joint or around your hip socket. And we're just trying to work through that, get as much blood flow as we can, and open up that joint. Excellent. We're going to go from hips up to shoulders. So standing up nice and tall. We're just going to get as big a shoulder shrug and a circle around as you can. So going back, up, around, and down. Trying to get as big a range of motion through these shoulders as we can. We're going to do 10. You might feel this up the bottom of the neck, in between your shoulder blades, and in your traps on the top of your shoulders. We're going to get 10 one way and then 10 the other way. Perfect. Then we're going to get our neck rotating each way. So standing up tall, we're going to look one way as far as we can. No movement at the chest and shoulders. Back to the start, and then the other way. We're going to get 5 each side, so 10 in total. And then the last one we're going to finish off with, something that a lot of people realized they were limited yesterday with in the TPI screen, is we're going to do some wrist circles. Elbows out to your sides, and then from here you're going to get your wrists to go in as big a circle as you can. We're going to go 10 one way and then 10. And then 10 back in the other direction. Okay, that's the mobility stuff done. We're going to go more into the dynamic warm-up now. If you need a golf club or stick for balance on this one, you can use it, or you can just try and do it and work on your stability. So the first exercise is going to be leg swings. You're going to be standing up tall. You're going to have your balance on your left leg, and then from your right hip, you're going to try and swing back and swing through, getting 20 in total, back and through, trying to get as far as we can in each direction. No movement at the upper body, just swinging from the hip. We're going to go for 20. So we're getting balance and stability on the left ankle, left knee, and left hip. And then I'm getting mobility on my right hip. So particularly stretching the hip flexor as I go back behind my body, and the hamstring as I come out in front of my body. When you've 20 done, we're going to switch sides. A tip for the balancing leg is, first of all, I think it's better if you have your shoes off. And then secondly, try and feel under the ball of your big toe on your standing leg. Try and feel where that is on the floor. If you're rolling to the outside of your foot and losing under the ball of your big toe, it's much harder to keep your balance. And if you need a golf club or a wall, you can put your hand on that for support. Next, we're going to do across the body. So back to the first leg. You're going to stand on your right leg. Stand on your left leg, and your right leg's going to be swinging back and across like this. So this is tougher for the stability and gets more of the groin and the outside of the hip. We're going to go 20. Okay, and then we're going to go the other side. So again, if you need to put your hand on something for balance, do. Next, we're going to go into a squat with arm raise. So you're going to get your feet about shoulder width apart. If you need to turn your toes out slightly, do. You're going to have your hands out in front. You're going to squat down as low as you can. Once you get to the bottom position, you're going to try and raise your hands overhead, and then you're going to stand up. That's one. We're going to do two. So start with hands in front, squat down as low as you can, pause, raise your hands overhead as high as you can, pause, and then stand up. That's four. Squat down as low as you can, pause, raise your hands overhead as high as you can, and then stand up. It's five. Two more. Excellent. We're going to do a toe touch. So feet together, one hand over the other. You're going to hinge over and touch your toes. Come up to the top and repeat. You're going to try for 10 of these. The key on these is making sure that you push your hips back as far as you can. Okay, now we're going to do two that will work the trunk and the upper body a little bit more. You're going to start in a push-up position. You're going to have your hands close together and your feet wide apart. And then from here, all you're going to do is turn one way with your chest as far as you can, raise the arm down to the start, and then the other way. You're going to go 8 to each side, so 16 in total. If this is too tough on your feet, you can just drop to your knees and do the same thing, okay? You can put your knees down or you can get your knees off the ground. So you should feel this in your midsection and in your upper body. Take a break for a second, just shake your upper body out a little bit. And we're going to be doing an exercise which is basically the opposite now, in that we're going to keep the upper body still and try and twist the hip. I'm going to show you this from a couple of views so you can see it best. It's going to be a push-up start position. Put your feet together. I'm going to pull my right knee up towards my chest, and then I'm going to rotate my hips underneath me as much as I can. So pull right knee up and then rotate underneath. I'll show you from here. Right knee comes up, and then I'm turning my hips underneath my body. Okay, I'm going to go all for 6 on each side, so 12 in total. So push-up position. Going to pull knee up, rotate under my body. You should feel that a lot in your obliques, side of your midsection. We're going to go up to 12. Okay, excellent. That's the mobility and warm up done, guys. If you want to grab a drink of water and just take a 30-second break, and then we're going to get started on some more power work, some high-paced stuff. Okay, so for the power work, we have 2 options for the first exercise. Option 1 will be the slightly more difficult exercise. It's going to be a 180 jump. What that looks like is it's actually really similar to how we create power in the golf swing, especially with our lower body and hips. So if you can improve your power production in this, it usually really helps with your club head speed. Because what really happens in the golf swing with how we use the ground is we push and we rotate with our lower body. So there's a drop and a rotation with the legs. And we can train that with jumping exercises and help how far we hit the ball. I'll show you a couple of the 180 jumps and then what you can do if you're not comfortable with the 180 jumps, okay? So really all it is I'm going to start facing this way. I'm going to have my hands up. I'm going to pull down into my right side, and then I'm going to jump and rotate to my left so that I land facing the other way. As soon as I hit the ground, I'm going to load into a squat and jump back where I came from. Sounds complicated. I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm going to load into my right side. I'm going to jump and turn. I'm going to load into my left side, jump and turn, load and turn. So I'm basically using the ground and my landing to power up and then push off the next side. So we're trying to get as high as possible in the air, twist our hips as much as possible, okay? If you're not comfortable doing a jump with a twist, you can just do a regular squat jump where you drop, jump, and go like so. If you're not comfortable with that, you can just do a regular squat, either with no weight or hold a weight in front of you. We're going to go for 12 of those jumps. So this would be 1, this would be 2, all the way up to 12, okay? Ready? Let's go. So jumping as high as you can, rotating as hard as you can. Ready? Go. Excellent, well done. Grab a stick or golf club if you have one. If you don't, just hold a water bottle or something like that out in front of you. You're gonna put your feet together and hinge over into golf posture, so like you're getting ready to hit a golf ball. And then from here, all I want you to do is put one foot slightly behind. So you're now what's called a split stance. The leg that's in front will now have to do a lot of work to balance. And what I want you to do from here is 8 turns in each direction with as much power as you can while keeping your balance. So trying to keep the lower body steady, turn our chest as hard as we can, 8 each way, but it's going to be tough to keep the balance on this front leg. Okay, we ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 16, okay, as hard as we can. Ready? And go. Very good. We're going to go on the other side. Again, this is a good time to feel where the inside of the toe of that front foot is. You don't want to be rocking to the outside. So really trying to feel like your foot stays flat. Rotate as hard as you can. Ready? Go. Excellent. So what we've done here in the power section is we did the jumps, which are for the lower body. We just did some rotations, which are more for the core or the midsection. And now we're going to do an upper body exercise. And with that circuit, we're basically working on power in the whole body. Lower body with the jumps, core or trunk with the rotations, and now we're going to get some upper body. What I want you to do for the push-ups that we're going to do next, unless you're very strong, is you're going to try and have either 2 kitchen chairs or else a countertop or a sofa or a table or something like that, okay? So what I'm going to show you with here is I have 2 chairs. What the chairs are going to do is allow me elevate my hands considerably off the ground, which will make the push-up much easier. The reason I'm doing that is I want to do the push-ups in an explosive fashion where I go down under control, but then I propel myself as high off the chairs as I can. So what it's really like is if you think of jumping for the lower body, this is like jumping for the upper body. If you don't have chairs, you can also do this from your knees on the ground, or if you're strong enough, you can just do a regular push-up from the floor, okay? I'm going to do the first set from the chairs like this. I'm going to do 8 of them, okay? And the key on this is getting as much power as possible. If you don't have 2 chairs, you can use a countertop, a table, anything that allows you elevate your hands. The higher the elevation, the easier it is. The lower the elevation and closer to the floor you go, the harder it is. Okay, we're going to try 10 of these. Ready? And let's go. Excellent, well done. That's 1 set of the power circuit. Jumps, 6 each side. Split stance turns, 8 each way on each leg. And then the power push-ups for 10. We have 1 set done. We're going to do 2 more now, okay? You know the 3 exercises, so I'm going to go through them much more quickly without explanation and keep going for 2 more sets, okay? So ready? Back to the jumps. And let's go. The split stance rotations, so golf posture, 1 leg out in front, 8 each direction as hard as we can. Really important on this one, make sure your chest is rotating and you're not just pulling your arms across. This is arms moving. This is chest moving. So get your chest rotating, not just your arms. Go. Next is the push-ups. So we have 10 reps, either using the chairs, going from your knees, or from the ground. Ready? We're going to do 10 reps. So grab your chairs or countertop if you need them. Getting as high as you can off the ground or off the chairs on each one. Excellent, producing as much power as possible. That's 2 sets done. We're now going to do set 3. Ready? So back to the jumps. So either rotational 180 jumps, regular squat jumps, or just regular squats. We're doing 12 reps. Grab your stick or golf club. We're doing our rotations. Get your balance on that front leg, turning the chest and pulling the arms together. Ready? Go. Switch legs. Last one on the push-ups. Going for 10 reps, again, either on the chair or on the ground, as powerful as you can on each push-off, getting as high as possible. Okay, well done. Take a break for a second. Grab some water if you need it. For the next set of exercises, if you have and want to use them, any type of external weight. So I have a kettlebell here. If you have a kettlebell, a dumbbell, a backpack, anything weighted that you want to hold onto, you'll be able to use it for 2 of the exercises in this section. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can just do it with body weight. That's the only piece of equipment we'll need. First exercise is going to be a lateral lunge. For this, I'm going to hold my weight up in front. You can hold it down here as well, whatever you prefer. You're going to start with your feet together. You're going to take a step to the side. As I land, I'm going to sit down into that leg as much as possible. This leg is staying straight, and then I'm going to power back up to the top, okay? We're going to do 8 to each side, so 16 in total. So step, lunge, power up. We're going to go to 16. So really good for the quad and the glute on the leg I'm sitting down into, and really good for the mobility on the ankle, the knee, and the hip on the leg I'm sitting into. You also get a big groin stretch on the leg that you're stepping away from. If I show you from side on, so up to 16. Good. The second one that we're going to do is a core one, which will also work the upper body a little bit. You're going to get into your push-up position. The only difference is that you're going to have your hands together. If you find, just one second. If you find this very tough, just use something like a footstool or the chair you had for the push-ups to elevate your hands a little bit. This is what the exercise is going to be like, but our upper body is going to be getting tired. So if you need some help by getting your hands elevated, do so. Hands together, feet together. My shoulders are directly over my hands. And then from here, I'm going to try and pull my foot up so that the ankle gets in line with my wrist. Down under control, and then pull the other leg up. I'm going to do that for 6 each side, all the way up to 12. That requires quite a lot of mobility in the hips and strength in the shoulders. It's much easier if I go like this. If you need to do that for now, that's fine, because we want to do it with a technique that you're capable of and gradually improve. Okay, we're going to go 6 each side. So push-up position, and then we're going to go foot up to the hand. Excellent, well done. For the next one, again, if you have a dumbbell or kettlebell, you can use it. If not, you can just do it with body weight, okay? So you're going to hold the weight in between your legs. If you don't have the weight, you can just go hands by your sides, okay? Starting up nice and tall, slight flex in your knees, push your butt back, and then power up to the top. So we're getting a big stretch in the hamstrings and then driving up. We're going to go 12. Excellent, well done. And then the last exercise in that circuit of circuit 1 is going to be a lateral hand walkout, which will again work the midsection and the upper body. So we've done 4 exercises in this circuit. We did the lateral lunge, which works primarily the lower body. Then we did the plank with leg pull-in, which is primarily core and upper body. Then we did the hip hinge, which is again primarily lower body. And now we're going to go to a 4th one. That's going to be primarily upper body. So you went lower, upper, lower, upper. And that way we can give one half of the body a rest while working the other half, but the heart and lungs never get a break. So for this one, you're going to set up either on your knees like this. This would be the easier version. Make sure your hips are nice and low. And you're going to walk your hands to the side like this. Walk out as far as you can. When you can't go any further, pause. And then walk back in. That will be 1. If that's easy, just do the same thing, but from a push-up position, okay? You notice your fingers start to splay outwards a little bit. That's fine. We're going to try 8, okay? Ready? Let's go. So hands are going laterally out from your body. Hold, and then walk back in. Last one. Excellent. Well done. That is 1 round of those 4 exercises. We're going to go for 2 more. They won't take quite as long because we know exactly what we're doing. If you need to pick a harder or easier variation, so we'll get these 2 sets done in 5 minutes and then we'll be finished, okay? So back to your lateral lunge. Get your weight if you have it. We're going 8 in each direction. Excellent, well done. So 8 each side. Then we're doing your plank with the leg pull-in, often called a mountain climber. If you need your box to elevate your hands on to do so, we're going 6 each side. Trying to get your ankle all the way into your wrist and keeping your shoulders directly over your hands. Then we're doing your hinge. I just want to show you if you don't have a weight but do have a resistance band, you can also use that for the hinge. So I'm just holding each end, looping it under my feet, get my feet about shoulder width, and now I'm basically holding it like a suitcase. And we can do our hinges from here. So if you don't have weight, you can use a band. Let's go for 12. Last 2. Then we're doing our lateral hand walkouts. So either from your knees or from your feet, getting your hands to go as far to the side as possible. Let's go for 8 reps. Excellent, well done. That's 2 rounds done. That's reasonably tough. If you feel like you have enough done, no problem, you can stop now. I'm going to do 1 more set through those 4 exercises and leave it at that for today. So grab a drink of water if you need it. 1 more set. Okay, back to the lateral lunges, 8 each way. 16 in total. Excellent, well done. Then onto your plank with foot pull-in or mountain climber. So we're going to try 6 each side. If you need to put your hands elevated on a table or chair, that's fine. Then our last 2 exercises. So into the hinges, feet about hip width, slight flex in your knees, hinge over up to the top for 12. You'll notice on this, there's no reaching with my arms. My arms stay close to my body. I'm just pushing my butt back, getting a big hamstring stretch, and then powering up to the top. Excellent. Last exercise, and we're finished. The lateral hand walkouts. Hope everybody's doing all right. This is tough work, but what's nice about it is that it's easily scaled to your fitness level or your strength level just by picking slightly easier or slightly harder variations of the exercises. You can also adjust this if you need to go slightly down if you're finding you're gassed out, and go slightly up if you're not getting enough from it. Okay, ready? Last exercise. Lateral hand walks for 8 reps. Hey everybody, that's it. Well done. Excellent work. I hope you're all feeling okay and enjoyed that. I will send the recording of this out later if anybody wants to go through it again at another time. And if you have any questions, the best way to get through is just by email. So fitforgolf18@gmail.com. Again, happy birthday to Brian in Castle Troy. There's going to be a big Zoom session in a second. And I hope everybody has a nice end of the weekend and is staying safe and well. Hope you're enjoying the workouts and they're keeping you on your toes. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks again for signing up. Bye.